With just about 16 months to the next general elections, where Ugandans will go into polls, civil society organizations operating in Westnile sub-region are appealing to the government to educate the voters and other duty bearers on what is expected out of them ahead of the period. This follows the release of the revised roadmap for 2025-2026 general elections, where the dates for the different processes have already been mentioned by the Electoral Commission. These concerns were raised during an engagement of the civil society organizations in the Westnile sub-region, organized by Westnile Regional Civil Society Network at Countryside Hotel in Arua City on the 31st of July 2024. Annette Lekuru, the Executive Director of Feminature Uganda, calls for sensitization of the women in what to consider while casting their votes.
We need to localize voter education to the last mile woman. We need to make sure that woman in her garden, through whatever means necessary and legally possible, gets information and knowledge and skills on how she is supposed to cast her vote. We need to empower and skill and build the capacities of women to be able to vote issues, not family relations, not village, because somebody is their village mate and that is why they're going to cast a vote for them. They should be able to understand what is it that this person who is vying for the elective office is bringing on the table or can bring on the table for them, and vote for such a person because of the issues the person wants to seek to address.
Hofin Jakwonga, who works as the programs manager at Rete Uganda, appeals to the civil society organizations in Westnile sub-region to take the mantle in sensitizing the locals about the electoral process.
The issue of education still comes back here. You publicize, tell the world, educate them, tell them in this election process, A, B, C, D category of persons are encouraged to come. This is our mandate, this is our response, this is what we are supposed to do. How true is it? I'm not sure of that, but I'm saying we seem to be ignorant of our mandate. We seem to be ignorant of what we are supposed to do. We seem not to know how this thing should be done. Take people through, let them understand. And let us have proper mechanism of making some of these things. The whole process from idea concession to dissemination, to actualization, to reporting. This calls for a lot of, consistency, follow up, and the issue of guidelines to make us really go where we are supposed to go.
Meanwhile, Scovini Cheta, a seasoned journalist covering elections in Westnile sub-region, is of the view that capacity building for journalists is key, as he anticipates tougher times since the media practitioners play a key role as election observers.
Based on a perspective of individualization, where people do things, the personalities do their things in the way they expect to do, in the sense that what an individual or a person in the media does certain things contrary to his own perspective aspect. But in the aspect of making things to be better, to me, I believe that time to time, the capacity of media personalities will always need to be built in order to make a substantial service delivery in terms of covering an election.
Moses Oringi, the programs manager of Westnile Regional Civil Society Network, the organizers of the meeting says it aimed at bringing together different CSOs in Westnile sub-region, mainly dealing with democracy-related issues, to deliberate on ensuring a peaceful 2026 general elections.
We want to leverage on the experiences that the different CSO carries to see how better we can work ahead. There has been a lot of issues previously in election, specifically election observation. For example, there has been issue of observers failing to be accredited by Electoral Commission, and there has also been issue around late accreditation by Election Commission for observers. So there have been issues around electoral violence that definitely affect election observers. There have been issues around the security of election observers. So today's meeting was basically to see how best do we mitigate, first of all, to identify the risk or the potential challenges that we have been faced with previously. But moving forward, how do we then work and come up with a combined strategy, a shared strategy based on our experience?
The meeting, organized by Westnile Regional Civil Society Network, brought together a number of civil society organizations operating in the region, such as Rete Uganda, Wenda, and people empowering people, among others, to discuss on issues pertaining the electoral process. Farish Majid, reporting for Westnile TV, Nalcast.